Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, Enterprise Ireland's FoodWorks Accelerator programme is accepting applications from start-up food and drink businesses until Friday next. The programme aims to get Irish food and drink businesses investment ready, and here to tell us how this is done is Dervla McCabe from Enterprise Ireland. Dervla, before we discuss the FoodWorks programme, I'd like to discuss your role as a development advisor with Enterprise Ireland. So what does it entail?
Good morning and thank you for having me. Yeah, so my role is a development advisor, or we interchange it with DA here in Enterprise Ireland. And basically what it means is I am that go-to contact for a company when they're working with Enterprise Ireland. The types of companies that we work with and then the stages of development, they vary. So what we're looking for is companies that have that high potential, which we would classify as an ambition and ability to create revenues of over $1 million within a 3-year period and create 10 Irish-based jobs. The companies that I work with are all in that early stage, so it's kind of under 5 years from the date of incorporation. And within that role in Enterprise Ireland, we work with our companies across what we classify as pre-seed, seed and scale. And they all link with investment, which come back to kind of one of the main areas where Enterprise Ireland plays in our startup ecosystem, which is investing. So Enterprise Ireland is always looking to invest in the next generation of these high potential startups.
And Dervla, what are you seeing in terms of emerging trends in the food and beverage space?
So when we look at emerging trends, what we're seeing is definitely health and wellness is still number one. And it's been there for a number of years. And many of us can even recognize this when we're in our supermarkets and the shops, is the growth of functionality. So we're seeing a lot of products with, additional protein or added vitamins. So that added value on our traditional product ranges are definitely what's coming to forefront. And then, and a conversation that, is ongoing in every ecosystem is sustainability. So we're seeing some very interesting sustainable startups, especially in the food and beverage space, when we look at kind of valorizing kind of waste streams, or you're adding value to products or ingredients that we traditionally maybe never really use. So there's a lot of innovation happening in kind of new product formats.
And the type of businesses which Enterprise Ireland support have export potential. Is the UK still the primary market for these food and beverage businesses, or has Brexit caused them to look further afield?
Ultimately, the UK is still number one. And that is number one for many reasons. The close proximity to that market, we see the consumer trends. We've similar kind of taste palettes between the UK and Ireland. And then the speed of delivery, especially for products that may not always have that longer shelf life. So the UK will still sit as the number one for a lot of companies, albeit Brexit has added some additional challenges. But what we are really seeing, and what's quite exciting, is we see a lot of this new concept of emerging markets. And these are markets where traditionally perhaps Ireland wasn't always exporting a large number of products. And a category that's really doing this is probably the whiskey market. So we see whiskey market and the traditional markets for that be UK and US. They're kind of on a downturn, but where they're going is to these new emerging markets. And it's the growth of African countries. We see it, I think India is another large market for the whiskey ecosystem. So it's seeing where those growth markets are. The UK can be definitely our first stop for exports, but it's very exciting in terms of what else is happening out there in the world.
And Dervla, are you seeing many food and beverage businesses gaining traction with selling their products online into international markets?
Yes. Look, we all are online for so many of our products, or we're heading up to, even Black Friday, where everything, there's a sale for everything online. So it's the same for food. There's that migration to selling products online. especially in that kind of health and wellness space as well. We're very familiar with, having repeat monthly orders on protein powders and different vitamins and minerals. The online space is growing. One, from kind of the consumers and our adoption with technology. But the second thing is companies get a higher gross margin. So they're not giving a cut of their profits to the retailers and different distributors. So tends to be a more profitable outlook or a profitable channel. So companies are looking at that with kind of a higher intent to, in reverse of kind of those traditional markets or channels such as retail. So definitely e-commerce and food service are probably growth channels that companies are selling their products through.
And what supports does Enterprise Ireland provide to high potential startup businesses in the food and beverage space?
Yes, so the types of support to which Enterprise Ireland offer, firstly, most engagements when you come into Enterprise Ireland as a client is we tend to set companies up with a mentor, be it somebody who has been in the industry before, perhaps has had a startup with a positive exit. And that's always one of those areas that add increased value to our clients. Then as well, within that startup support remit, we have what's known as kind of a HPSU feasibility grant. And ultimately, that's a feasibility grant to test a product or service. So they are kind of the intro to kind of grant support immediately. And then a lot of what we do is around equity investments. So not only are we looking to put money into a business, but we have a number of supports to help you get investor ready.
I also want to speak to you about one of your flagship programs, which is the Food Works program. Talk to us about that and the benefits which it can deliver for its participants.
Yeah, so the Food Works program is an investment accelerator program for the food and drink industry. And what makes FoodWorks unique is it's a tri-agency program. So Enterprise Ireland, Borbia and Chagas have all come together to deliver and design a world-class investment accelerator program. The program itself is of a 10-month duration. And what it kind of entails is monthly workshops, one-to-one mentorship with a lead business advisor. And it's all designed in the position to be investor ready with an output of an investor ready business plan. So some of the benefits of the program is we've had buyer introduction days. And because there's a buyer introduction days, we also take companies on a market study visit, or a market inspiration trip. So for the past few years, we've actually taken our clients over to the UK to walk the stores, get that inspiration and build those first market entry plans. And all the work around the business plan development is all geared to get funding, external funding into a business. Within that, we do mock pitches, so we help companies trial their pitch presentation. And then the program completes every year in November. Actually, it's completing next Tuesday with a finale day where we bring in real life investors into the room to which our participants get to pitch for actual money.
Dervla, remind us about the application details and a relevant deadline for submitting an application for the programme in 2025.
Yeah, so the application deadline is approaching, so it's the 29th of November. There is a few eligibility criteria to be aware of. For anyone thinking about applying, the first thing is a company must be under 4 years old from their date of incorporation on their CRO. This links back to that concept of it's a start-up program, so we follow kind of the EU guidelines on the age of companies. In addition, companies must manufacture or plan to manufacture the products in the Republic of Ireland. And where we also say is companies must be headquartered and controlled from Ireland to go on the program as well. So they are kind of the overreaching criteria. And to make kind of a successful application, we encourage companies, to communicate their value proposition. So identifying the problem they've seen in the market, and how their product or service is that solution. A lot of weight in any application goes to the team or the advisory sections. And then it's just to show that ambition and appetite. So what kind of business do you hope to have in 24 months? Is it one that is raising equity and growing at that pace? And if so, then FoodWorks is likely to be the program for them.
And finally, Dervla, as we look to the year ahead, 2025, what are the challenges and opportunities facing the Irish food and beverage sector?
Yeah, so we'll start with the challenges, and it's down to cost and cost competitiveness. So we're all aware that like the products on our retail shelf have gone up in price. Similarly, this is felt by our food and drink producers. Cost of ingredients are going up. So a lot of our companies now have to change how they produce those products themselves and enter into kind of cost-saving methods. So be that into, we see a lot of automation and digitalization as well within that opportunities. It comes back to the concept again around sustainability. We have ample opportunities to create very new sustainable products all the way down to the packaging, which will help us. If we became that market leader in sustainable products, we will ultimately win business as other markets grow in their aim to be net zero and all towards those environmental targets.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Dervla McCabe from Enterprise Ireland. And if you want to find out more information about their FoodWorks programme, you can visit foodworksireland.ie.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.